Hi there! Web images are everywhere you surf on the internet. Your browser knows how to display images on web pages, and today I want to talk about the most common web image formats supported by modern browsers. Image formats are different ways image files are encoded. They can be binary encoded or text formats. Another important distinction is between lossless and lossy formats. Lossy formats compress the images and the image quality is thereby degraded. Lossless image formats preserve image quality. Now that you know the basic differences, let's dive right into the web image formats. Let's start with the first web file format supported by browsers. It has been around since the beginning of the web and is called GIF or GIF. GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format and was developed by a team at the internet service provider CompuServe already in 1987. It uses a impulsive Welsh compression to make the images smaller. It is a lossless compression, meaning that the image file gets smaller without a loss of quality. It also supports animations. Think about the cat animations you often see on the web. Alright, so here I have now fired up my VS Code. You can see in this project here a number of HTML files, each one for different web file formats that we are going to do in this session. And here I have the GIF format. Here you see the head. It's a standard simple HTML file. It has a head, it has a title, there is a body, there's an H1 web file format, and here's the image. And it gets the image here from the subdirectory images. Here are all my images. And then I just reference this GIF image here. So now when I move that image into my browser, here is my latest generation Firefox browsers. You should see the GIF image because the browser can display GIF images. So that's the proof. So I moved that in here. And here you can even see that this image is an animation. You see the digits, the different digits that change all the time. That's a GIF animation. So this Firefox browser supports GIF images with animations. Let's move on to the next format, the JPEG file format. In contrast to the GIF format, JPEG is a lossy file format, meaning quality can be lost. Nowadays it is one of the most popular file formats and is supported by all browsers. It stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group, which is the group that has developed the file format in collaboration with other companies like IBM. It was initially released in 1992 and is now also an ISO standard. Alright, so let's check here again Visual Studio Code. Here we have open the JPEG file. Here the same as before. We have referenced here a JPEG image. And when I move that into my browser, into my Firefox browser, you will see that it is displayed. So here you see that actually the file, the airplane is here displayed, which is proof that JPEG files can in fact be displayed in a modern browser. The next file format is the PNG file format. PNG was developed as a replacement for the GIF format, which initially was patented and you had to license it. The group who developed the PNG format was the PNG Development Group, who later donated it to the W3C. It is an open format and supports higher color depth and more efficiency than GIF. There is also a variant for animation, APNG. Like GIF, it is lossless. Today it is supported by all browsers. Alright, so here we have again our Visual Studio Code with the PNG file. Here in the image tag it is referenced the sodium iodide PNG file, and if I move it into the browser it gets displayed. So let's see what happens. Here it is, and here you see the big picture of a chloride atom, a sodium chloride atom in 3D. And you see that PNG files are in fact supported by modern browsers. The next format is the WEBP format and is based on the WEBP codec. It was developed by Google and is intended as a replacement for both JPEG and PNG files on the web. It was released in 2010 under an open source license. Compared to JPEG and PNG, it has superior compression rates. It also supports animations and transparency. According to the website caniuse.com, WebP is currently supported by 95% of all browsers. Thus all modern browsers support it. Alright, again here in my VS Studio Code, I have a file, an HTML file that references a WebP file, image file, and if I move that into my browser, you can see it should be displayed. So I move it in here, and here you see it's again the plain image, and actually the ending is .webp, so meaning that it's a real WebP file. And you see it's supported by the Firefox browser. AVIF was developed by the Alliance for Open Media in 2019 as an alternative to WebP. It is open source and royalty free. In contrast to WebP, it also supports HDR and high quality images. According to caniuse.com, AVIF is supported by 83% of browsers. Currently, the Edge browser is still lagging in its full support, while the other major browsers do support it. Alright, let's check again into my Visual Studio Code, and here I have the image of a boat referenced in the AVIF image. Here you can see the ending .avif, and if I move it into my browser, what I'm doing right now, you can see that in fact the image of the boat is really displayed. So that means this Firefox browser supports displaying AVIF images. In contrast to the other formats mentioned earlier, the SVG is a text format. This means you can really inspect the file with a text editor. It is a vector format in contrast to the other pixel formats. When you make an SVG image larger, there is no loss in quality, which is great for clipboards, logos, and other graphics on the web. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics and was published in 2001 by the W3C. It is an open standard and supported by all modern browsers today. Alright, let's see here in VS Studio Code. I have again referenced my SVG image, and here you see it references the owl.svg, and the cool thing is you can inspect it really in a text editor. So when I open it here, owl.svg, you see it's all text. Actually, I can even edit it here right in VS Studio Code, and it's XML based, and here you see all the elements and the attributes, and you can really change it in a text editor. Alright, now let's see how I can open it in this Firefox browser. So again, I reference here the owl and move the file into the browser like this. And here you can see the browser. In the browser there's the owl, and when I make it very large, I make it 1400 pixels, save it, and now you see that it gets very large, and the quality really is very good because it's a vector image. Now, when you decide to use graphics on the web, all these formats have their pros and cons. The older established formats like GIF, JPEG, PNG have more browser support than the new formats like WebP and AVIF, but they have less compression capabilities and potentially less quality. If you need vector images, you can go with SVG. Alright, that's it for today. Hope it was useful and you could learn something. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to receive more videos in the future. See you!